In this lesson, I'm going to teach you how to plan your business for non-stop acceleration. I'm going to teach you how I personally plan for goals backwards. I'm going to teach you how to anticipate any problem that can arise in your business, or at least give you the highest probability of minimizing errors within your business. And most importantly, I'm going to teach you the importance of making data-driven decisions. So let's get on to the next lesson. In this lesson, I'm going to teach you how I think backwards from my goals so I can reverse engineer what it's going to take to succeed. I originally came up with this concept when I was reading a book called Transurfing, and they teach you about a concept called the space of variations. And essentially, in any person's life, you have an infinite amount of potential timelines and an infinite amount of potential possibilities of what can happen in your life. So based on your micro decisions and based on your macro decisions, you can change the outcome of your life. So let's say instead of me drinking a cup of water, I drink a cup of juice. That's not going to really affect my outcome in life. Now, let's say I go out on the street and I get hit by a car. My lifeline is going to drastically change. So let's say I go outside and get hit by a car. If I was going to be a basketball player, my end goal and my timeline is drastically going to change. I'm probably going to sustain an injury, and that goal is not going to be accomplished. So what I do is I figure out where I want to be on my timeline, and I think backwards. I'm able to anticipate any potential problem because I'm thinking at the goal backwards. So I'll give you an example. Recently, I wanted to run this financial offer. I wanted to bring it up to 7 figures a month. I needed to create a plan so I can understand exactly what it's going to take to bring this offer to 7 figures a month, right? Number one, I needed capital. I'm not going to be able to scale an offer unless I have at least 6 to 7 figures in the bank. So if I didn't have capital, I would need a capital partner. Next, I would need a traffic source. I know that I did my research. I see that this offer had search volume. I know that this offer was high ticket. So I knew that based on the search volume, I knew that 100% I can make this offer succeed. Now, I know that with the traffic source, whether you're using Google or Facebook, I know that there could be potential issues. For those of you that have ran traffic in the past, especially with Facebook, you guys get ad accounts banned. So me relying on only one ad account is a big mistake because I know that ad accounts get banned, and if an ad account gets banned, I'm going to potentially lose time, and I'm going to be sitting there waiting to start up a new ad account. So from the beginning, I've already anticipated this problem, and I've already started with 3 ad accounts. Next, another key component to making this offer a 7-figure offer would be how the sales are handling the leads. You can have the best marketing in the world, and if you have a shitty sales team, the offer is not going to succeed. So I knew that if this company's sales team wasn't up to par, I knew that I was either going to have to get it up to par, or I was going to have to find a partner that had sales team experience, that had experience with building out a massive call center. I was able to anticipate that one of my ad accounts was going to go down because it happens very common, especially when you're running high level traffic or high spend ad spends. And for the spending part, I knew that I was going to have a sufficient amount of capital, especially because this offer doesn't pay out for about 6 months. So I knew that either I was going to have to come up with that capital, or I was going to have a funding partner or a loan from a bank. It's very important that you're able to anticipate these problems, because most people in business, they just run their business, a problem occurs, and they're sitting, waiting for weeks, sometimes months, because they weren't able to anticipate that problem. Another example, which I previously mentioned in the course, is I was Andrew Tate's #1 affiliate. Andrew Tate is an amazing guy. I've learned a lot from him. I think he's a massive net positive for the world. But when his merchant account went down, he wasn't able to anticipate that. So he had a book of MRR, or monthly recurring revenue, of around 100,000 subscribers. And when his merchant account went down with Stripe, they lost all of that book of business. They lost all of that monthly revenue, and it took them a couple of weeks to get a new merchant account, and that also went down. And because he wasn't able to anticipate that that was a potential problem, and what he needed to do is shuffle the merchant accounts and have 10% ad spend on, let's say, 10 different merchant accounts in case one went down, then his full book of business wasn't completely cut, where he ran into the problem where he lost 100,000 subscribers of monthly recurring revenue. And for that, it probably resulted into multi-millions of dollars lost. You can also use thinking backwards in your personal life. And for me, let's say I need to get somewhere on time and I can't afford to be late. I'm going to always anticipate the idiot. I'm going to anticipate that the Uber is going to be late, I'm at bare minimum gonna have 2 plans. I'm gonna order an Uber and a Lyft, just in case one Uber canceled, just in case the Lyft canceled. I'm gonna ensure that I get to my meeting on time. It's very important that you always have at bare minimum a plan B or a plan C. I use the same concept when I'm hiring staff members. So let's say I need to hire a new designer and I haven't worked with this guy before. Instead of me hiring one designer, especially when you're working with overseas freelancers who sometimes give you a little bit of excuses, I'm already gonna anticipate that he's not gonna give me a good design. So I'm gonna front load the work. It's gonna take me a little bit more time in the beginning, but I'm gonna hire 3 different designers and split test those different designs, because there's always gonna be one designer that's gonna outperform the other one. Same thing in every single concept. It's gonna take you a little bit more time in the beginning, and it may cost you a little bit more money, but what this is gonna ensure is that you're able to accelerate forward in your business because you're already anticipating that one of these guys is gonna mess up. In the next lesson, I'm gonna teach you the importance of tracking and making only data-driven decisions to give you the highest probability on giving your business the chance to succeed. So let's get on to the next lesson. In this lesson, I'm going to teach you the importance of tracking and making data-driven decisions to give you the highest probability of ensuring that your business is going to succeed. Too many times I'm consulting with different businesses or even people within my organization, and they're not tracking enough of the metrics. As Peter Drucker once said, what gets measured gets improved. If you're not measuring things, it's very difficult to improve them. Same thing in your personal life. If you're not measuring, let's say you want to lose weight. If you're not measuring your calorie intake, it's very difficult for you to see if you have potential problems 2 weeks down the road, why you weren't losing weight. If you're tracking your calories, for example, you have that data and you're able to see, oh, on Tuesday I had 2,000 calories, on Wednesday I had 4,000 calories. That's probably why I didn't lose weight. That's how you use tracking in your personal life to get better results in something such as losing weight. And it's even more important that you use tracking in terms of business. You should be tracking your marketing KPIs, you should be tracking your sales KPIs, profit and loss, customer retention, employee satisfaction, because if you're not tracking these specific metrics, you're not able to make data-driven decisions. When you want to run a successful 6, 7, 8, 9-figure business, it's very important that you guys are making majority, if not all of your decisions based on data, right? You can't make data-driven decisions if you don't track everything because you don't have the data to make that decision. So let's say we have a $100,000 budget. I don't know where to allocate that. I don't need to think. It doesn't matter what I think. All I need to do is look at the data. If I see that we're spending $50,000 on Facebook and we're getting $2 for every dollar that we're spending, and I see we're spending $50,000 in Google and we're only getting 50 cents for every dollar we're spending, I'm not gonna waste my time on Google. I'm gonna empty the bank on Facebook. Why? Because it's a data-driven decision. You need to take out all of the guesswork in your business. You need to be making as high as probability decisions as possible by using data-driven decisions. Time after time again, I see too many entrepreneurs making gut-feeling decisions, saying that I want this landing page because it looks better. If you're not testing it, if you're not tracking it, you can't make data-driven decisions. When you're using data to make your decisions, you're using factual data to actually increase your company's revenue. So just to recap, you need to track everything. What gets measured gets improved. And if you're not making data-driven decisions, you're guessing. You need to take the guesswork out of business and make high probability decisions. One of the key things that's going to allow you to build an 8-figure business is your ability to expand your network. As they say, your net worth is worth your network. You show me your 5 closest friends and you'll show me who you are. There's no coincidence that I'm friends with Luke Belmar. I didn't just meet him at some random 7-Eleven on the side of the street. I specifically sought him out online. I understood that I want him in my network. I went to his mastermind, I offered value, and now he's one of my best friends and one of my biggest assets in my net worth and in my network. I'm gonna show you how to use the reciprocity principle. I'm gonna show you how to build on the relationship pillars, and I'm gonna show you the importance of understanding the social bank account and how to use that to acquire new people within your network.